I was walking that morning. In fact, I had been walking for 167 days with no respite. I decided that it was time to sit for a little while. My gaze wandered around for a handful of seconds until it met a lonely-looking large stone slab on the side of the road. I tried my best to brush away the coat of ashes that was resting on top of it using a rolled up old flyer that had just been breezed nearby. I slowly took off my backpack as I crouched a little to finally take my seat. I looked around me. For what seemed like 100,000 kilometers, a peaceful valley of grey rubble and bent-up lampposts showed its lazy morning face to me. A pale and timid glow was radiating from a sky now forever hidden, a white blanket of remains, hiding the sun, hostage from any view. At a closer inspection, those candid sheets revealed themselves a million dancing specks of dust, embracing not just the skies, but the earth as well, lingering without time, filling up your lungs. Ashes. I found myself thinking about a quote that was tossed around in books and stories about warmongering monarchs. Those kings longed to conquer their neighbors so much that the option of destroying everything in their way was no reason for pause or concern. In fact, they often encouraged it during their military talks. And that was usually the time when a trusted advisor would whisper, "Careful, Your Highness, lest you end up becoming King of the Ashes." As I fiddled with that memory, feeling it up within my fingers, I couldn't help but think how poorly those words really described the world that I had been traveling in for the past few months. There was no King of the Ashes. The Ashes were the king. They were the supreme ruler, the beginning and the end, the silent equalizer between survivors of any ethnicity scattered around the broken cities. I unfolded the flyer that I used to dust off my seat, absent-mindedly touching the charred up edges of the paper. Operation Light in the Darkness is what it said. The land invasion of Iran by the American army that would finally liberate the Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf and free up the trade of oil from the blockage that had been strangling the global economies for months. The chain of events that followed led to one very odd night in which my sleep felt like it was pulled away straight from my eyes. For a split second, I remember thinking it must have been morning already, but the digital clock on my phone confidently said 4:06 a.m. I remember staring out from my bedroom window as a marvelous mushroom-shaped light was shining bright into the darkness, swallowing the city skyline all around it. A light in the darkness. Ironic. I tossed the flyer away as I stiffly stood up once again. I had to keep walking. Only a few hours of light left before it would get dark again.